Hey, Boaz here with Next Pittsburgh. Today we are going behind the scenes at the Allegheny County Airport. I have always wanted to check out this building, and we've got Matt here today, who's the public affairs manager for all of Pittsburgh's airports, and you've generously agreed to show us around.
Yeah, welcome. We're happy to have you guys here.
And so, well, let's start walking in over here. So, how old is this building?
This airport was built in 1931. And this is the original building. It's been renovated and updated since then, but yeah, 1931, so almost 100 years now.
And so, when this was built, this was like Pittsburgh's airport.
This was the primary airport for Pittsburgh. This for commercial air traffic was a lot less back then, as you can imagine, right?
The planes were probably a lot smaller.
They were. People actually used to ride on sacks of mail. There were no seats in the airplane for passenger traffic.
That's wild. I love that, like, Art Deco tile work, too. It's gorgeous. I mean, this all just looks like original, that, like, waiting room.
The waiting room is original, and the telephone sign is original. That's where the bank of telephones used to be. Obviously, public telephone's not a thing anymore, but this is also the original tile that's been repaired and restored from 1931. And this whole interior was redone about 2 years ago.
Well, it just looks like you're walking through history over here.
Yes, I can show you a photo of Lena Horne walking down these stairs.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes. So Eleanor Roosevelt allegedly sat on one of these benches, which are the original benches from when the airport was built. So when you were the primary airport, everybody had to come through here, right? Lots of famous people, tons of presidents. We've had 6, 7, 8 presidents come through here.
When did things start transitioning from over here to the airport we know now?
So the first airport, Greater Pittsburgh Airport, was built in 1952. So this transitioned away from passenger traffic in 1951 mostly. That year, 1.2 million people came through here, if you can imagine. All the international traffic and commercial traffic moved over to those airports. So now this handles mostly private air traffic and business traffic.
Looking out here, like, are there planes out here right now?
Yeah, they should be operational throughout the day. I mean, it's not nearly as busy as, an international airport would be, but you can have a plane taking off right here actually coming up.
Some of these people maybe are just hobbyists who like flying planes, and maybe other people, they have a private jet and they're coming in for a corporate meeting at UPMC or something.
Exactly right. So you have a lot of people who own their own personal small private planes, 2-seaters, 4-seaters. And then we do have, PNC has a hangar out here where they keep aircraft. Some more prominent Pittsburgh businesses. Dan Rooney, the late Steelers owner, used to keep his plane out here, and he'd fly to games in New York. So it's a mix of both, actually. But there has always been a barbershop or beauty salon here in the airport since it opened. And so now it's currently run by Nancy.
Wow, hi. Wow, so you operate the salon at the airport?
Yes.
The Hairport.
The Hairport in the airport, yes.
How long have you been here?
November 1st will be 11 years. And this is what it looked like back in the day. So it's always been a barber shop. And before me, there was Rob Capizzola. And Marilyn Monroe in Zebra. That's my theme.
Those are your style icons.
So part of what we did with the renovations was we changed some old administrative space into community rooms. So these are conference rooms that are available for use by the community organizations, or our tenants here at the airport. Ultimately, the airport is a community asset.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be just here for planes taking off and landing. You want this space to be used by people as much as possible.
And it looks like there's some cool historic photos here.
Yeah. That's Lena Horne walking down the steps we just walked down. And that's Danny Kaye.
Oh, the comedian and performer, yeah.
Flying was not common back then when you think about it. Now everybody's been on an airplane once or twice. Yeah. And back then, you could go your whole life without ever having been on an airplane. So if you came to the airport, it was a big deal. And then if you had a Hollywood star there, it was just crazy, right? So, these were shot by Teenie Harris, who is a legendary Pittsburgh photographer, has exhibits everywhere.
And when you were renovating, did you come across any weird things in the walls or weird, posters for, airlines or anything?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you go through an airport, you find old tickets, you find baggage claim tags. So even at Pittsburgh International, right, we're building a new terminal, we're renovating the airside, all those kinds of things. There's old spaces in there from US Air where you go through and you find baggage claim tags from, 1987 or something like that, right?
And now we can just go right outside and we're essentially on the tarmac.
You are, yeah. So the airfield's right on the other side of this fence. You can see the signs, Air Operations Area, the AOA. So only badged personnel are allowed out there, right? Working personnel. Although sometimes we have special events here where we'll cordon off an area and we'll open this gate up. So for example, air shows, we'll get World War II aircraft coming in, something like that, or unique aircraft. that people want to come in and climb on and explore and things like that. And so we can cordon off part of the ramp area and open up this gate, and it becomes a public space.
And there's 2 helicopters right there.
Right. So that's Stat Medevac, another one of our tenants here. They provide emergency transport services for people in medical situations, right? So bad car crash, something like that, and you see a plane come flying in and transporting someone to a hospital, that all happens right here. So they're always on duty.
And you were saying when it was initially built, it was just this center box.
Yeah, right. So the initial terminal is kind of just this main taller rectangular section here in 1931. And a few years later, they added on these 2 wings on either side to give it a little bit more space. So this is one of the early lights for our lit airfield, one of the early air beacons, an example of what it used to look like. Now they're very small, they're embedded in the ground, but this is what pilots used to use to track night flying when they went into airports. So Allegheny County Airport was one of the first lit airfields in the country. And in terms of regular power, when airports first started becoming common, they would even do things like light hay bales on fire to help light the runways and provide beacons for pilots.
Well, so looks unique, and just based on the photo, it looks like it was made in a unique way also.
It was, yeah. So a few years back at Pittsburgh International Airport, we had an artist in residence named Blaine Siegel. And Blaine's task was to find art that evoked the airport, create art that evoked the airport. And he had some ideas, and he poked around, and then one day he saw what we call the paint pad. So all the lines on the runways are painted by trucks, and they have to be very perfect, very straight, exact width. It's all dictated by the FAA. And so we have a paint pad where they test these trucks out, and it's just a piece of asphalt that constantly gets painted over and over and over and over and over, and he was fascinated by that. So he started laying down pieces of canvas and other materials, and with the help of our paint truck crews, kept driving over and over and over. So this is the exact kind of paint that you would find on a runway, and laid down exactly the same way that we paint our runways, and he created sort of a collage, painting effect out of it, and created at the airport, art for the airport, made at the airport.
And now Matt let us go on the roof. We're going to climb up on the roof.
Yeah, we want to give you guys a great view of the airfield from up on high, a view that most people don't usually get. So come on with.
And you were saying the Air Force One has parked here before.
The president's flown in here and come to visit Pittsburgh before, and sometimes he comes to Pittsburgh International, and sometimes he comes here depending on where he's going. But this airfield is big enough and the runways are big enough that they can handle aircraft the size of Air Force One. So this is a convenient spot for them to come.
And so why did they decide to move the airport?
I think it was just a matter of needing more space and understanding what commercial aviation was going to become. When Greater Pittsburgh Airport was built on some farmland west of the city where there wasn't anything else. It was sort of unusable land at that point in time, and they had more than enough space to build. So Pittsburgh International Airport is about 8,800 acres, which makes it one of the 10 biggest airports in the country by land mass, because there was all that open space out there. And here, being in West Mifflin, we're surrounded, as you can see, by homes and businesses, and Lebanon Church Road is out here, so not a lot of room to expand on this site. So found a whole new site for the new airport.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for the tour. This was amazing.
Yeah, great. I was really, really glad you guys came out. We liked showing you guys around and giving you guys a taste of some of the things people don't usually get to see at the airport.
Well, once we finally get that next Pittsburgh, private plane, we'll make sure to fly it in and out of here all the time.
We'll make sure we keep some hangar space for you.